What's going on? We want to welcome you to another episode of A Guy's Guide. I'm your host, B Swift, and today, we tell you all the time, this show is the community, for the community, by the community, featuring the community. And today's guest is someone who I've had the privilege of building a relationship. As we walk by, we always talk about each other's shoes because he keeps a cool pair. Also a guy, I'm not gonna lie to you, when I used to hear his name or hear his office name, I was a little scared until I really got a chance to know what he does, what his office does, and build those relationships. But I'm here today, Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears. How you doing, son?
I'm doing great. It's great to be on here with you.
Listen, man, I'm glad to have you here, and you for what you do for the city. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the times when I see your name, heard your name, or heard your office, I just be like, I don't want to meet with them. Like, it just seems like trouble. And, I think over the years we've been able to build that. I'm like, actually, no, there's a lot of great coming from the prosecutor's office here to help the city and us inside the city.
Absolutely. And, a lot of times we get put into difficult situations because something bad has happened. Yeah. And I think a lot of people sometimes carry that with them or that perception with them. But for us as an office and an agency, we very much understand that we work for the community, and we have to continuously think of ways, how can we best serve the needs of our community? How can we design programs that can have the biggest impact? And it can't just be about locking everybody up. That can't be the only thing we do. We have to do things that can help solve problems, help get people on the road to recovery, help get people moving in the right direction. And that's really tried to be our focus.
No, and that's the dope part about it. Now, let's just talk for a minute. You're a product of the community. Went to Ritter.
Yep.
Played basketball. At what point did you know law was something that you wanted to be involved in?
Like every kid growing up in Indiana, I thought I was going to play in the NBA, and obviously wasn't good enough. But that was your primary focus. And then when you got to college, you have to start being serious about, okay, what's my future going to look like? And for me, I always think about my parents. My mom was a school teacher, and my dad was in insurance. My mom loved her job. My dad had a job.
Right.
And so for me, it was, how can I find something that I love to do? And my mom got a lot of satisfaction being able to say, I helped teach someone how to read. And so I was looking for that way. How can I give back? How can I have that impact on the community? And I started my legal career in public service at the prosecutor's office because you want to make a difference and you want to try to help as many people as possible.
No, and that's dope right there. Like you say, to know, like, I tell people all the time when I talk to them, especially the youth, there's a difference in a job and a career.
Absolutely.
Job is something you go to because you have to. Career is something you love to go to every morning because it's something you love, and you'll see the difference. Like, it doesn't bother you getting up saying, I got to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Sweet, I'm on the way. Like, and to find that passion and looking at your parents. One likes it, one loves it.
Right.
I'm going to try to help do what the one loves because I just don't want to be at a place.
And it's way more fulfilling that way.
Yeah.
When you have that passion and enthusiasm for the job, it makes things way easier. And the other part of it is I think it makes you try to become more creative and try to get the most out of the experience because you're not just saying to yourself, this is something I have to endure. This is something where we think we can have a huge impact.
Yeah, and your impact touches a lot, especially the community. How important is this community to you?
Well, I love the city. I love Indianapolis. I'm from Indianapolis. I think we have the best city in the world, but we also have problems. And for me, it's, if you're fortunate enough to have a position like mine, how can we have the biggest impact on the most people? And how can we try to serve the most people? And so for me, it's constantly trying to push that envelope. One of the first things I did was we made the decision not to prosecute small amounts of marijuana because we saw the inequities in terms of who ended up in a courtroom.
Right.
Those are things that I think have a huge impact on the community and send a clear message to the community about what our priorities are, which is we're not going to try to jam you up for this joint. What we are going to try to do is try to help as many people as possible. And when there are violent crimes and violent crimes occur, we need to be able there to stand up for victims.
And that's important. Like you say, small petty crimes like that can get somebody messed up forever for something small and petty.
And too many times we see people get caught in the system, not because they're bad people, but because of life circumstances. And that's the part that, we as a criminal justice system, we need to be focused on the people who are hurting other people, who are really negatively impacting our community. What we shouldn't focus on is people who are going to work, who are trying their best, who maybe aren't good at probation or who maybe have that joint. There's no benefit in terms of public safety, and we're just putting more people into the system, and we're not gaining any benefit. And when those individuals come to the system and they have a bad experience, then they distrust the system because the system didn't treat them fairly. And that has, so many repercussions and so many ripple effects. So for me, I want to make sure that we are focusing in on what's truly important.
Now, I want to ask you a question, because when I hear Marion County prosecutor, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to meet you guys in court at that point. Like in my brain, that's how I feel. Your office, is your office a space, if I'm someone who wants to find out how to better myself, find programs, maybe before I get in trouble or before my kids get in trouble, and I just don't know where to go, but I know what your office is your office a place where I can call, I can come down, making appointments to see if there are programs that maybe you can help me with?
Absolutely. And to me, we've failed if we've had to wait for a criminal case to be filed for us to help somebody. We have to be proactive. And that's everything from, we're doing a soccer camp in June, come join us. We're doing a basketball camp in either June or July, come join us. We do a ton of youth programming that's just available to people in the community because we want to have those positive interactions. There's a lot of people in our community who want to do well, who want to do the right thing. It's just a matter of getting hooked up to those resources. And oftentimes we can help facilitate that conversation. So please reach out to us. I've always, I believe that we have to have a good relationship with the community. And if the only time you talk to the community is after something bad has happened, you're not going to have a good relationship.
Definitely.
That work has to start right here, right now, when there's not that urgency. And I think that's one of the things that we're trying to do with our different community partnerships is get people into programming, have meaningful conversations with people, hopefully providing a little bit of value to folks when you don't have the specter of a criminal case hanging over the conversation.
Okay, because I'm always, like I say, I've never thought like, oh, I wonder if I can go, I got this abusive problem. It's,
Right.
You know what I mean? And can they help me? I don't want to see them in court, because by the time I see them in court, it's mandatory, it's probation, it's this, you're making me go, which I'm glad you're making me go. But if I want the help early on, are you my friends enough to help me? Because I don't think people know this.
Yeah, and absolutely. And we can do more good a lot of times outside of the criminal justice system as opposed to inside the criminal justice system. Forcing someone to do something doesn't always work. But when people are ready to make that change on their own, that's where we see the best results. We see it all the time with individuals who, are struggling to get housing. Anything that we can do to help get someone in housing, we're not going to see that person in the criminal justice system because they have a place to go every night.
Yeah.
And those are just like the small, simple things that we can do where we can convene resources, bring people together, and hopefully get people on the right track. Our record's not perfect. It doesn't always work out the way we want, but we're going to make sure we dedicate the energy and effort to having those meaningful conversations.
No, and that's important. And, conversations is important. I mean, when we look at what's going on in our city right now, it seems like there's as a parent, we were just talking kids, and, I told you I have an 8-year-old daughter. As a parent, and I'm watching what's going on with our youth between 12 and 24 years of age right now, it's some troubling things. And I'm glad to see you guys have some programs, soccer, basketball, where you're very involved. Are there any more things you're looking at doing or partnering up with people? Because we're trying to figure out reasons and ways to keep these young people from the trouble and out of the trouble.
Yeah. So number one, if there's anybody out there, our Youth Violence Prevention Fellowship, I would encourage everybody to apply. You can just go onto our website and apply. And it's really a leadership program where we take kids from around the city. They come in, they not only meet with me, the prosecutor, but they meet with other elected officials. They learn about government, but then they help us design our programming for kids who become involved with the criminal justice system because we want the programming to appeal to kids. The other part of it is it's about building leaders. So you can be a leader on your block, in your neighborhood, in your community, on your team, in your school, and you can help your friends turn away from gun violence. We're working on a really cool program right now with Ben Davis. We're about to launch it where they've actually designed an ad that we're going to put out on social media. We're going to do it on the radio. And it's written and produced by the kids from Ben Davis on this topic of gun violence. And it's about engaging with kids and young people. I was at Voices one time and they told me, they said, you guys, meaning adults, don't do a good job of listening to us. And I said, you're right. And so how can we elevate kids to give them that platform and that voice to talk about what they're going through, to talk about why maybe kids are attracted to guns or drugs or those types of things, and what would really be successful to help them turn away. And what I'm hearing from the kids is we need to build stronger leaders because so many kids in our community have bad adults. They have bad parents or they have bad adults around them that maybe don't set the best example. And it's that friend group that's going to make the difference. So how can we invest in those kids to be leaders, to help those young people who are really struggling? And that's where we're trying to put a lot of our focus right now.
Like, and I think that's dope. And I'm glad you brought up Voices, because I was going to bring that up. We were over there together about a month ago, and it was amazing. I know who I am, right? And the kids all wanted to talk to me like, bro, we want to sit at your table. And I'm like, well, go talk to Ryan. Like, that's my guy. They was like, no way, Jose. Like, we're not going to go sit at the table. And I'm like, yo, first off, a lot of y'all in trouble. It's probably cool to go build a relationship because you never know what comes out of it when people see you trying to do the right thing. And a lot of them ended up coming over there talking, and they didn't expect the conversation that you had with them, giving them some real information.
Yeah.
And at the end, when you left, I got to talking to them. They was like, bro, we glad we went over there. Like, we ain't think he was that cool. Like, he listened to us, and then he's telling us A, B, C, D about E and F and G. And, man, thank you for telling us. And we was like, told you, like, you know, everybody's not against you. I don't know why that's so much on your radar, but no, he's a great guy. His office does great things, and for a person to take time to come over here, want to hang, should tell you guys a lot, and I think that means a lot. And is that something that's important with you in your office when I look at your staff?
Absolutely. And the other part of it is I learned more from that conversation than those kids probably did. And literally the first thing they said to me is, why are you against us? And then we had a conversation about what our role is and maybe how we could help. And I understood their perspectives, and they had a lot of questions about the law. And it was a really good, free-flowing discussion. But that only happens when you take the time to have those conversations with kids. And they give you a lot of insight into what they're going through, what they would like to see happen. And then also you get a better feel for their perception of the criminal justice system. And, you know, a lot of times you're fighting against those perceptions. And the best way to do that is have very direct conversations. I'm a big believer. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. You might not like it. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But I'm going to tell you directly where our position is. And I think a lot of people respect that straightforwardness and appreciate where you're coming from.
No, absolutely. To be able to hear it straight for you, like I said, whether I like it or not. Well, he did tell me straight to my face that this was it.
Right.
And I had to take it for what it is. It wasn't no sugarcoating, no, I'll let you know. I'm telling you now, it's going to be A.
Right.
Figure it out, take that information for you. Bet I can only take it and run with it, and I love it. And again, just even with the teams, like you said, a lot of the times they feel like they're not being heard. So for them to be able to sit down with you and you say, no, this is what it is, but please tell me, because I can take it back to my office and we can have these conversations. And it was crazy because about the Ben Davis thing, when we was talking, I'm like, well, we need kids to do this. He was like, we're already on it because they've already told us this. So we're gonna let these kids do this ad, which I tell people a lot of time. It's a lot of adults in suits and a lot of adults in hoodies that sit in these rooms that make decisions for these kids when we're not these kids.
Yeah, and I mean, think about us growing up. We didn't have Instagram. We didn't have Twitter. We didn't have social media. All these different things that are creating pressures on kids that lead to a lot of these disputes, which leads to gun violence. It didn't exist when we were growing up. So how can I tell a kid how to best deal with threats on social media?
Yeah.
Because that's not my experience, and that's not a lot of the people who are in positions of power. It's not their experience either. So we need to learn from these kids because this is brand new. And how can you best deal with that challenge? How can we as adults provide hopefully the resources and the response that's best going to serve the needs of the kid? But everything has changed over the last couple of years. And we have to be humble enough and willing to acknowledge that it's just different growing up now than it was, coming out of high school in 1999.
Oh, definitely. We can put together a gathering today in 2 seconds by going to Snapchat saying, hey, meet me on the corner of 38th and Riverside, and everybody will be there. Versus back then, we got to play telephone and hope and hope.
You're passing out flyers.
Yeah, like we don't have to do that no more.
Right.
Community, going back to the community. You guys do a lot of great things, and we teamed up. It's crazy because I tell people, I've been wanting to sit down and chase you for a year. I've seen you at breakfast. I've seen you here like, yo, I want to sit and talk. I want to sit and talk. Reached out to my man, Aaron Williams, like, yo, I need a meeting with Ryan. He like, all right, just call him. He's going to sit. And it was a reason, right? I got a friend, and I told you this story, who hasn't had a driver's license since we were 17 years of age. And it bothered me. Because I watched this man, all he want to do is go to work, hang with his kids, take his kids to practice, dance, whatever they needed to do. But he couldn't legally drive, but he needed to. You know what I mean? And I watched him get in trouble, get pulled over. And all of this comes from not knowing as a 17-year-old, if you get a ticket, you got to pay it. If you don't pay it, more can happen, and now it builds to where he's a felon, all because of driving. No drugs, no recklessness, no accidents.
Right.
Just going to work, home, or kids or practice. And I was like, I want to sit down with him because how do I help my friend? Like,
Right.
and we finally got a chance to do that. And you told me about your second chance program that you do. And we've teamed up to do one in June. Why is something like that so important for you?
Because we need people to be successful in our community. And if people are going to work, if people have a place to live, if people are taking care of their kids, I don't see them in the criminal justice system. And so there are so many people, though, in our community that are being held back, not because they're bad people, not even because they're bad drivers, because they didn't have the money to pay that ticket. And then it snowballs from there with these ridiculous reinstatement fees. And now we criminalize them every time they go to work, every time they go to school, every time they take their kids to practice, when they go to church, when there's no benefit to the criminal justice system. Right. And we put these ridiculous fees on these people. And so for us, what can we do to level the playing field and say, hey, I understand you didn't have the money to pay that ticket. I'm going to work with you. We're going to wipe out some of those tickets. We're going to set aside fines and fees because I want you driving on the street legally. And if you're driving on the street legally, going to work, taking your kids to school, that's a win for the community. And so, everybody talks about the probation trap, but there's also this trap with driver's licenses.
It's huge.
Yeah, and we've just got too many people in our community whose driver's license is suspended, not because they've got 10 DUIs, but because they didn't have $160 to pay a ticket. That's not acceptable. Yeah. And so what we try to do with these second chance fairs is we set aside those tickets, we waive those reinstatement fees to get people driving on the street legally. Because when people are driving on the street legally, they have that confidence, they have that comfort of going to work. They're not looking over their shoulder every single time they see a police car. And that's a tremendous benefit to our community. And we have seen the benefits of this because we've talked to so many people who a simple thing like getting their license is a life changer for how they live their life. And we don't need those individuals in the criminal justice system. What we do need is those individuals working, taking care of their kids, going to school, going to church, being productive members of the community, and we don't need them looking over their shoulder.
Man, because it's horrible. Like I said, I watched my friends sit in jail for months for driving.
And what did we accomplish? Right.
And I'm like,
yeah.
Now you got to come home, find a new job. Hopefully you didn't get evicted and start. And it's like, bro, again, and I tell him all the time, if you were horrible, I would tell you. If you were DUI, if you riding with drugs, if you have accidents and running, I'm not fighting this. But I literally watch you do nothing.
And the collateral consequences of that just have a huge impact on him, his family, and the community as a whole. Like people going to jail overnight is a life changer because there's a lot of people who are hourly employees. You don't call, you don't show, you don't get paid, you lose your job.
That's
you
the
lose your job.
12 hours in the world. Let me tell you that. That going down there to that processing system for 12 hours, don't do it. I don't suggest it to nobody.
Right. and the consequence of that is you lose your job, then you can't pay your rent, then you can't pay the ticket.
It's a snowball effect.
All these things happen from what is basically an innocent mistake.
Yeah.
And we have to end that. We have to stop that. And then we can't exacerbate it by saying, well, now you're a felon, and all the consequences that attach to that. So I'm a big believer in we have to help people get on the road to success. And, when we do our second chance fairs, you've been there, there's a line around the building, and it goes to show there's a lot of people who want to get help. We just have to give them the resources.
Yeah.
And we've had tremendous success in helping those individuals get their licenses reinstated. And I'm proud of that work. And it's the most important work that we do because that's sending a message to the community. We're trying to help.
No, and the community appreciated it. The last one I pulled up to, there was a couple guys in there. I knew it. I'm like, what y'all got going on in there? Telling me, and dude was like, bro, I just need to get this done. Then I can go get my CDLs. Then I'm on the road. Like,
right.
I got a real job waiting on me. Yeah, like I have a real job, but this was the first step. And I didn't even know this was even around until I seen it on the internet and kept hearing about it. And I decided, he was like, bro, and I'm glad I came because now my whole life is about to change. Some of the things I've done, I don't ever have to return to them again. Like, bro, this is amazing.
I mean, think about all the possibilities right now if you have a driver's license. CDL being the biggest example that we talk to people about, getting that initial license, and then they get on the path to CDL, and they're making more than me. And those opportunities are out there. let's help people get those opportunities, because if people are making that type of money, we don't see them in the criminal justice system.
Yeah, it's over.
We're not gonna see them again, and that puts them on the road to housing. That does all these different things for individuals, which is why I'm glad we're so invested in these programs, and I'm also glad that you help us publicize what we're doing.
Yeah, no, and again, as somebody who literally watches somebody go through this, it was very important to me. Like, that was probably the biggest conversation. Like, even with this whole thing, how this was created, it kind of started with that, because I'm like, yo, I'm watching my best friend, like not just a friend, my best friend, go through probably some of the worst times of his life because of driving. And I'm like, I'm who I am. How do I sit down and I know Ryan, I see Ryan. Oh no, me and him got to talk. I'm not trying to pull no favorite card, but there has to be something that can be done, because if he's going through this, and it's all because we were 17-year-old kids.
And he's not the only one.
He's not the only one. And it's going to continue. Like you say, who wants to be in the system for driving?
Right.
That's the worst to be looking over. And I got valid license. Like, shout out to the IMPD. I got valid license. When they get behind me, I get a little nervous. It's just, you know what I mean? But I'm quick to be like, boom. I can only imagine how somebody with no license feels when they see that IMPD car hit them.
And it creates this unnecessary tension between the community and IMPD.
Yes.
All because someone's driver's license is suspended and they're worried, am I going to go to jail? Because then a lot of times people run, or we have these resist cases, and all of it stems from an unpaid ticket of $160. And we can level the playing field and eliminate those issues through these programs. And the best thing that we can give is someone peace of mind, knowing that, hey, you don't have to run. You're good. You're legit.
Like you're saying, it saves everybody. And that's just one program. You got the Good Initiative program, Good Faith program that's out there to help others, and things they should dig in to find more about. If I want to find out more about these, are these things on your website?
Yeah, they're on our website. I mean, we do our Good Faith initiatives for individuals who have child support issues to help them get their driver's license reinstated. And then we have a very robust expungement program where we help people get felonies taken off their record, because the biggest thing that I see that's holding people back in terms of getting a job or getting into housing is that prior conviction. Mm-hmm. And so if people visit our website, we have programs addressing child support issues, our Good Faith initiative, and then our Second Chance. We also work with getting people expungements so we can get people jobs and get people into housing.
Listen, that's amazing. I'm not going to hold too much of your time, but before we go, there's somebody that's listening to this, that's watching this, and they want to become the next lawyer. They want to become the next prosecutor sitting in your office, and they're maybe high school going to college, or in college looking for those internships. How can they connect with you and your amazing office and your team and take those steps?
Yeah. Number one, we need you, because we're only as good as the community that we serve. And we need people. I'm a big believer. We need people from the community working in our office who care about the city. And so for all my friends out in Indianapolis, that's number one, the most important thing. I want people who have a passion for this city. But number two, we have our youth fellowship, which is paid, where you get exposure. So that's for high school kids. And then anybody who is after high school, if they're looking for an internship, hit us up on the website. We have a number of positions available for all different skill levels, because I'm a big believer if we can get people into the criminal justice system, they can see that there's some really good people in there, but we need more good people to help us do our job. And the best way we can do that is having people from the community that we serve. So hit us up, whether you're in high school, out of high school. If you're sincere about your commitment and trying to make the community a better place, we'll always find a place for you in the prosecutor's office.
Listen, I appreciate you taking some time, coming and be a resource and being a guide on Swift's Guys Guide. Of course, we'll see you in June. We'll start getting people this information about this second chance, because it's so important to me, like very important, as you've seen. And my friend has actually came to the last one, and I think he's right at about getting this,
That's great to hear.
This license and being comfortable on the road again,
which is what we all want.
Yeah, which I'm excited for him. And, I think it changes the dynamic in his home. It changes the dynamic with his kids, and just being able to do things freely. So I appreciate you guys for even just steering me the right way on helping him get that. And I can't wait to help the community be steered the right way, because there's so many others that need it. And again, for you and Johnny and everyone in your office taking the time to be a part of everything we got going on, it's much appreciated.
Absolutely. Looking forward to working with you.
Yes, sir. Yo, what's going on, B Swift? So welcome back to A God's Guide. And today I got another resource for us. And it's an amazing event that happens in June that you do not want to miss out on. And I have one of the founders here. I got James Webb, Juneteenth founder, Indy Juneteenth. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, man. I'm glad to be here.
Listen.
Woke up this morning. I'm good.
Listen, that makes two of us. Now, on this show, we talk a lot about resources and what you do with Indy Juneteenth celebration. And it's a resource to the community. So first, I would love for you to introduce yourself to people, let people know who you are and exactly what it is you do.
All right, well, I'm James Webb. I'm the executive director of Indy Juneteenth. I'm also the Indiana State Director of the National Juneteenth Observance Foundation. So for the past 7 or 8 years, along with my wife and my team, we've been putting on Juneteenth themed activities and festivals in the state of Indiana, all over Indiana for the past 7 or 8 years. We started in our backyard, and now we have a large week-long celebration. And last year we brought out almost 15,000 people to Military Park. So let's keep it going.
Why was it important for you and your wife to do this? Because, Juneteenth wasn't a big holiday until it came out of nowhere to a lot of people, not gonna lie. Some knew what it was, a lot of us didn't know what it was. Wow. You know what I mean? And to see you say, you know what, more need to know what this is, more need to celebrate this, because it's about us.
Right.
And it's different from a July the 4th or Memorial Day. It's our holiday.
Right. Well, it wasn't so much about Juneteenth just being real. It was more so about people need to know who they are. They need to know more about their culture. I mean, we're more than just collard greens and hip hop, and we come from a long legacy of beauty. And one of those things was Juneteenth, and I would talk to people about Juneteenth or Black August or other holidays that people celebrate for Black culture, and they would have no idea what it is. And I would say, well, let me break it down to you. Let me tell you a little bit about yourself. Let me tell you about where you come from. Let me tell you a little bit about your history, because I firmly believe the more someone knows about themselves and their history, the more value they look at themselves and the more value they look at people from that culture. And when you look at something that's valuable, you treat it that way.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And I think that's dope as someone who's learned about this holiday, and some of the others, like you say, Black August, like somebody brought that to me. I was like, what? We making stuff up? I'm lying, but you know what I mean? And they was like, no, bro,
that's nice.
Take this. And I'm like, oh, this is dope. Okay. Now, the dope part, like you said, this isn't just a one-day thing.
No, not no more.
It's a week-long celebration with things that's happening, and I kind of want to walk down with you everything that's there, because it's a lot for everybody.
Everybody.
I'm talking, we can start, because I think the first thing is the college and career fair, or is it something before that?
Well, before that, we're kicking off all Juneteenth celebrations over the state of Indiana on May 19th with the Miss Indy Juneteenth Scholarship Pageant.
Okay.
And this pageant ranges from the ages of 8 to, I think our oldest contestant in year 1 was 50. So it's a therapeutic approach to pageantry. A lot of times Black women are over-sexualized for their curves or whatever, but this allows Black women and Black girls to take a look at who they are for themselves. They have a creative scene where they can decorate the whole stage, and they let the audience know who they are in their journey, and we use that in replace of like a swimsuit scene. So this year we'll be crowning the 4th Miss Indy Juneteenth of the state of Indiana, and there's 3 divisions. It's for the youth, 8 to about 13, and then there's a teenage division and an adult division. And the teenage division goes on to compete nationally to become Miss Juneteenth of USA.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And there's even a scholarship tied to this, right?
Yes, it is. We give away over $3,000 in scholarship. This is all organically funded, grassroots. So the more support we get, obviously, the larger the scholarships will grow.
That's dope right there, and that's something for you to check out. Where will the pageant be this year?
Oh, yes. We at Butler University at Shelton Auditorium, May 19th at 5 p.m.
So definitely want to get tickets to that, be a part of that, see how that goes. I got to come. I got an 8-year-old. She loves wearing dresses. She loves herself. So I'm sure if I take her, she's going to be like, oh, we getting that next year, Daddy? and I'll be doing something in May, and for her, I'll do it. And I think that's dope. And again,
She's more than welcome.
just to learn about herself, you know what I mean, and be able to explain it. Now, after we do the Miss Juneteenth pageant, we got more events.
Yeah. So from there, it goes from June 12th through the 19th, and we kicking off with our BET night, our Black Entertainment Trivia. We started that actually during COVID, and it was a big hit online. So we brought it in person, and one of the original trivia nights that we do. So we'll be having trivia for like 90s R&B, black movies from the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. There'll be Black History trivia. There'll be hip hop trivia. There'll be so much, and it's just a good time. It's really a networking event. Come out, get to know the Indie Juneteenth team. Come bring some friends. Let's have a good time. Let's start Juneteenth off the right way.
Now, that was fun. I think it was last year that I hosted one at Vibes, Vibes Lounge, and we had a good time. Like you say, just hearing some of the music and people sitting there like, oh, I know the name, but I can't think of the artist. Oh, that's the television. And like, people had a great time. And like you say, just to be outside and to be around people and meet people that look like you, man. And I think that's where we fail. Like when it comes to networking, we all, I got this business, but I don't know who do marketing. Or I own this business, I've been in it 2 years, and I don't have a mentor. And some of these events put people in them same spaces, and they create a long-lasting bond that take them from A to Z, and I think that's amazing. Now, after that,
on the 13th, we have the Indie Juneteenth College and Career Conference, and that's taking place at Martin University at noon. And it's a college and career conference is what it's named, but it's really just a place where soon-to-be high school graduates, current high school graduates, and black college students can go see other people who look like them in the industry. They can go to a financial literacy workshop. They can interact with someone from Butler University or someone from a union, because colleges might not be for everybody. They can interact with people who look like them in successful positions that come from places where they come from. And you might get offered to get a scholarship or an internship, so the kids will rotate from like panel discussions to a financial literacy workshop, a real estate workshop, a college life workshop, how to adjust from going from high school to college, Greek life, understanding the Greek life process, HBCUs. So it'll be a place where they can go and be around people who look like them, come from places where they come from, open environment. They'll be able to ask questions. And we'll be giving away MacBooks, we'll be giving away mini fridges, and just your regular college essentials, microwaves, stuff like that. So we had a very good turnout last year, so hopefully we can do the same this year.
And that's dope, because so many people leave senior year in high school and go to a college campus and are completely lost on what to expect, what to do, how to live. You're not home with mom and dad no more. You're in this dorm with you and 3 other people that you've never met. And you got to get adjusted to how this person sleep, how this person live.
And then nobody's gonna wake you up in the morning to go to school. And a lot of our brothers and sisters, they end up coming right back home after that first semester or that first year. So we're trying to introduce them to people who made it. Maybe they can find a mentor, like you said, or maybe they can find the resources to say, okay, I was expecting that. I learned that from the College and Career Conference, so they can avoid those hurdles that we had to jump over.
And that's so amazing. I probably would have went to school if I had somebody like that in my life, if I'd have went to an event like that, because I would have knew what to expect. Like you say, versus getting down there in first semester, I'm coming home. I need my mama, I need my daddy to do this laundry for me. I can't do this no more.
This is weird. You know what I mean?
I knew I survived no money.
Right. And then, like I said, even college isn't for everybody.
Facts.
So there'll be unions there, because I'm real big on skilled trades. So there'll be people introducing them how to become electricians, carpenters, getting your CDLs to get into shipping, get into trucking. And with those things, you can start your own career immediately, start your own business immediately. So I'll be there personally speaking about entrepreneurship. And then future black leaders will be there speaking from a current college student perspective. So it'll be great.
That's important. As someone who, while doing radio, I went to Lincoln Tech to do the EST program, because I didn't know early on how this is gonna work. I didn't know I was gonna be the B Swift I am. I gotta figure another hustle. I'm gonna go to school real quick. And I tried Ivy Tech. wasn't for me. You know what I mean? And I'm Lincoln Tech 9-month program, learning all these courses. I was like, oh, yeah,
I can knock this out.
I can go do alarm systems. I can go do cable or phone or this. Yeah, this works better for how I live.
And a lot of brothers and sisters from the communities where we come from, they don't even know that's an option.
Which is why.
You know what I mean? They just say, hey, man, I got to go fill out some applications, work at a factory. Or if I didn't go to college, I gotta get on TikTok and do something, man. Like, nah, man, brother, you can be 18, learn how to become an electrician, and then you can start your own electrician company.
Or you say, get your CDLs, drive a school bus, jump in a truck.
Or get you a pickup and throw a haul on the back of that mug and ship cars all over the country and make good money.
Good money.
I got plenty of partners doing that.
Listen, and I'm glad. I think COVID was a great experience because it opened up those doors for so many people to be like, yo, I ain't going back to this job. I'm gonna get a car hauler. I'm gonna just get a trailer. I'm gonna go get this thing, and we're gonna go pick up air conditioners and drop them off everywhere.
There it is. And then I know people with college degrees, master degrees, no longer using them because they just like, hey, this is so much easier. I just get this truck and drive for a couple hours and come back home.
Yeah, can't go wrong with that. June 16th, or is it just a Sunday?
Wait, we
missing something.
Well, we want to go last on that one, or you want to? Because it's in order.
No, let's do it in order. Then.
Okay, keep it in order. All right. Well, the 14th is just a setup day, so we kind of taking a break, getting everybody ready for June 15th.
Okay.
And that's the big day. That's when the state of Indiana will be celebrating Juneteenth. We'll be celebrating on June 15th at Military Park with the 7th annual Indy Juneteenth celebration. The parade is starting at the Madam Walker Theater. We're going up Indiana Avenue, and we try to keep the parade on Indiana Avenue. We weren't there last year, but we'll be there this year. And we want it there because of the significance of black culture on Indiana Avenue.
And I was going to ask you that.
And so, and everything we do, we try to tie it to history. Like when we were at White River Park, we wanted to have it at White River Park because White River was a part of the Underground Railroad. And so, but we got a little bit too big for this. So we moved it still close to White River. So we're at Military Park. So yeah, so the parade starts at the Walker Theater, and then we go up Indiana Avenue and we come down Blackford through IUPUI's campus, turn up, and then we leave right into the festival at Military Park. The parade starts at 10. The festival starts at noon.
Before you go further, shout out to Judge Gaither. He's your Grand Marshal and shit. Love Judge Gaither. Gotta shout out Gaither. My guy, one of the most amazing people in Indy, especially in the court systems for what he's done and continues to do.
Any man that devotes his life to the saving and the benefiting and the helping of black youth, or youth period, deserves praise. Yeah. And there's not a lot of black men that we can look in the face and say, that's a judge. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna give him his flowers.
Absolutely.
Most definitely on June 15th. He's the Grand Marshal, and we're proud of that, and we're proud of him. And so we leave from the parade, we leave right into Military Park. And so we've got over 175 vendors, regular vendors, and then we got over 35 food vendors that'll be there. And then we've got a performance lined up. We got a health and wellness party that'll be put on by Taylor Made Wellness and Kelsey Taylor. We're bringing in Cut Close. 90s platinum artists, 90s R&B heavyweights, Cut Close. Dion Forever, Kenny Garmin, and recently from American Idol, Indianapolis' own Remington Hill will be performing as well, and a slew of other local performers. We've got a lot going on lined up for you. Dope VIP sections, man. The whole nine. This is going to be one to put in the books, and we're very proud of the work that myself and my team have done for this one. So we hoping to make you guys proud. We're going to celebrate and have a good time.
No, I'm excited, like you said, to watch the last 7 years of these being built and going from one spot to another spot because it's gotten bigger and watching where it's at now. I can't wait to see it. Last year was crazy. The food trucks, the fun, fireworks, and it's just so much that go with it. And I think people should definitely come out, check this out if you've never been. Put it on your calendar, June 15th. Start early in the morning at the Madam Walker with the parade, then we'll lead right over to the event.
And
it's just something to be at. It's a great celebration.
Right, and shout out to our presenting sponsor, Old National Bank. Appreciate all the hard work and everything you guys did for supporting us. So we're going to make them proud. We're going to have a good time, and shout out all of our sponsors.
Definitely. Then after that's over, give yourself a couple days.
Yeah, well, no, not yet. Not yet. June 16th is our second annual Ending Juneteenth Boxing Showcase.
Okay.
And that's taking place at Martin University. It's part of our mentor program that's called Punches for Purpose. It used to be called Gloves Up, Guns Down, but we're changing it to Punches for Purpose, and it's still connected to our mentor program, and it's also sanctioned with USA Boxing. And once the program is sanctioned with USA Boxing, a lot of these youths, they might be able to find themselves a career in boxing. They can go on and compete in the Golden Gloves. They can go on and decide to go pro if they want to, things like that. So we've got over 18 amateur fights lined up from individuals from all over the Midwest. We've got a lot of local gyms that'll be participating in this, from America Top Team, to Bad Boys Boxing, to Big Walk Boxing, and Top Level, and Moreno Boxing, and some of these guys just competed in the Golden Gloves and are going to nationals, and then they're also supporting us and coming to box at our events. So we're very thankful and supportive of all of our guys, and wishing them good luck on June 16th. But they're still it's Father's Day, so bring your dads out.
Great event to be at with Dad.
So there'll be 21 and up VIP area. There'll be food. There'll be vendors. It's gonna still be a big event. Everything's gonna be nice, and it's very. You'll love it. Just come on out. And then after that, we got like a happy hour, and we relaxing. But then after that, we're doing knockout comedy. And
that's dope.
Yeah, we're bringing in Amber James, the local celebrity
She's
who's
amazing.
been opening for Mike Epps and a few other people. She's the headliner for Knockout Comedy, where we're doing comedy right in the middle of the ring.
Oh, that's dope.
So yeah, her, Dwayne Cobb, Damon, and funny man, Made Man Bland.
Jay Bland.
Yeah,
my man.
he's gonna host the whole thing for us. So
It's my doppelganger. They say we look alike.
boy's hilarious, man.
He's hilarious, man.
Yeah, so we're thankful for that.
I want to go back to the boxing.
Okay.
Punches for Purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You tied a mentor program to it. Talk to me about that, because to be able to grab some of our youth off the streets and say, hey, take that anger you got, right?
Mm-hmm.
To learn how to channel it somewhere else and put it somewhere else. Don't pick up the gun and go shoot this house up.
Right.
Let's take this anger out. Let's teach you how to punch. Let's teach you how to get in the ring and learn somewhere. Like you say, some might decide to say, I want to be a Golden Glove, or I want to go pro. This is better than going in the corner. This is better than going to go rob somebody and getting jammed up for the next 5 to 10 years in somebody's prison system.
Right.
Why was that important to you to create something like this and tie it to a mentor program?
Well, kind of in reverse. We were creating the mentor program before all of this, and myself, a longtime friend who's a master degree educator, and a lot of guys out of California, we wrote this curriculum called My Brother's Teacher, and it's a 12-week curriculum that we use, and it involves anger management, financial literacy, discipline, loving your elders, giving back to the community, different things like that. So we attached the boxing to it once that opportunity landed in our lap. And so we was like, okay, well, this is also a form of self-expression, a form of anger management. And so we use that as a way to just teach young guys, man, like, hey, there's other things, there's other opportunities for you in the world. And not even just young men, young ladies as well. See, we were getting students and mentees that were straight out of juvenile probation. So they would go to a mentor program. But once they're done with that mentor program, and the parents are like, okay, so what's next? I still want someone to work with my child. And that's where we kind of stepped in at. So while there's great mentor programs out there, and then, but once that, I guess they graduate, I don't want to say graduate, but once they leave that program, some of them already have an opportunity to continue to work with those programs, but other ones want something different, and that's fine as well. So some of the parents, they reach out to us and how they can get involved with us. And then some parents just want their kids to box.
Facts. I mean, it's a great way of self-defense. It's a great way of temper management, like you're saying.
Way to get in shape and all that. I know I'm a bad representation.
Listen, me and you both keep saying, I'm going to go get in the box. Like, that's something to do. Then they be like, I don't know if I can sweat that much. Like,
See, now what people don't know is they have a master's division. And those are people that's older than the age of like 35. So you got people 50 years old still getting in the ring, man.
oh, that's tough.
Yeah.
I salute them because I'm getting there. I got 32 seconds and I'm gonna be on the ground.
But they'll begin at 50. And it's not like they started when they were kids. Like they just got into boxing.
That's dope. That's dope. Now, because I know somebody's gonna look at this and see this part, especially about the mentoring. If it's a way for them to reach out, is it a way for them to reach out?
Most definitely. Info@indyjuneteenth.org, or you can go to our website, and that's www.indyjuneteenth.org. Shoot us a message, sign up for our newsletter, leave us a comment, email us, and then we'll give it back to you ASAP and let you know all the information on how to sign up.
Listen, it's going to be a great month of June. It kicks off in May 19th with the pageant. We're running all the way to Juneteenth weekend and a few days after with other events. If people would love to support, if people would love to find out and pick and choose, if people want to make sure their kid is at this college and resource fair, what's other ways that they can? Is it the same Juneteenth way?
Same way. They can follow us on Instagram, Indy Juneteenth on Instagram, Indy Juneteenth on Facebook. They can go to our website, indyjuneteenth.org, go to our events, the events section in the menu, and you can sign up right there. To be in the parade is free. To go to the College and Career Conference is free. To be in the mentor program is free. Everything is funded through our sponsors and donations. To go to the festival is free. To come to anything we do is free, except the boxing and the comedy. We got to charge something. You know what I'm saying? And that's for a good cause. And that's for grown folks to pay that anyway. It's not for that. Kids will be performing. It's not like a child event. You know what I mean? But anything that's youth related is free.
Nah, and that's dope. And you know, I'm glad we was able to get you here. We're gonna be excited to see everything leading up to the big final, you know, the big
shebang bang.
Yeah, the shebang. And of course, it's not even the big one because you got the shebang bang. Then we go back and we watch somebody get bang bang. And then we get some great comedy to knock us out for the rest of the night. But thanks for stopping by.
Nah, man.
Thanks for being a resource to the community and giving back. Again, parents out there, check out the Indy Juneteenth Festival. If you have the pageant, check out the pageant. Check out the resource fair and the college fair. Check out the Punches for Purpose. I really love that name. Like, I think I was telling you that off camera. That name is so amazing.
Dope.
Check out the Knockout Comedy and so much more. You can find it all. We'll have it posted at hot109.com for you. But of course, indyjuneteenth.com. .org. indyjuneteenth.org. And make sure you support them. Come out. Even if you can't make it, check their website out. Make a small donation. Your small donation will go a long way. James wanted to say, yeah. Please. No, but that's it. That's Swift's Guys Guide. We appreciate you for checking in on this episode this week. And we'll see you on the next one.